Whether it's wedding bells, moving in, or finally hitting that first milestone, if you're here, then chances are you are thinking about getting your very first home. And to that, I say congratulations. You, my friend, are about to embark on a new property journey.
So the big question is this: how busy professionals and homeowners like us make six-figure profits from the property we own safely by doing it with research, data, and numbers. How do we buy in a way without complications and half-guessing, regardless of the market conditions, and still remain profitable? That is the question. Here, I will share with you exactly what we do and how we do it. My name is Edmund, and welcome to Singapore Real Estate Insider.
If you're one of the lucky ones who can afford a fancy private property as your first home, here's some important stuff you need to consider. So watch on as I share with you important tips that will help you decide which property is best as your first property. Hi everyone and welcome back to Singapore Real Estate Insider. I'm Edmund. First off, here is the gist. If you've got the cash to buy a private property right off the bat, that's awesome. But before you jump in, you need to weigh in the pros and the cons. And hey, if you are also eligible to buy a HDB unit, you have more choices. So it's a very challenging decision. So let's consider some of the big things first. Buying a private property comes with less hoops to jump through. There is one significant advantage of going for a private property. You don't have to deal with all those tricky rules and conditions that come with buying a HDB flat. Now, trust me, you must meet many eligibility criteria for HDB flats, even if you're buying a resale one. So if you and your partner are permanent residences, you need to have their PR status for at least 3 years before you can even consider getting a HDB flat. And if you are flying solo, you can't get one until you hit 35 years old. It makes you think, right? If they're judging your dating life, nah, I'm just kidding. But it is a whole lot of hoops to jump through. So going for private property might seem like a breath of fresh air, free from all those red tapes. Flexibility to sell. If you're thinking about selling your place, you will need to consider this. If you own a private property, you are free to sell it whenever you want. Of course, there's this thing called the seller stamp duty, SSD, you need to keep in mind. It's just a fee you pay when you sell your place within a certain time frame. But still, having the flexibility to sell when you want is a nice perk. But if you are in a HDB flat, there's a waiting period of 5 years before you can put your place up for sale. And just so you know, that countdown starts when you get your keys, not when you start daydreaming about your new house. Renting out right away. If you score a private property, you can also rent out the whole thing without any hassle. Now, imagine this: if you're a first-time homeowner and you bought a private property, but you're still crashing with your parents or in-laws. No big deal. You can rent out your private property and make some extra money to cover your bills. Smart move, right? By stark comparison with HDB flats, you can only rent out rooms until a certain period called the MOP is over. And here's the kicker: only Singapore citizens can rent out the whole flat after the MOP. Furry friends, if you are an animal lover, HDB flats can discriminate regarding having pets. But don't come to me, those are just the rules. Some breeds aren't allowed. Even keeping cats is a very grey area. Private properties tend to be more pet friendly, which is excellent if you have a furry buddy. Shocked by these cons again? Well, let me know which one is a deal breaker for you. Share your comments down below. The big question: cost now. Here is the big questions. The upfront cost. Buying a private property means shelling out a lot more cash upfront. You can't use that HDB loan, so you need a private bank loan with a way more significant down payment, and we are talking about 25% of the property value. Guess what? The first 5% must be paid in cold hard cash, not your CPF savings. If you're looking at a cool $1.5 million condo, you need to hand over about $75,000 immediately. Ouch, right? Especially if you got other big expenses like weddings and children coming up. Oh, and don't forget about those maintenance fees. Condos come with awesome amenities. Well, sure, but those maintenance fees can add up to around $200 to $300 a month. HDB flats? well, they are much more budget friendly with conservancy fees sitting around $90. So if you're watching your wallet, an HDB flat might be up for your alley. Enbloc sales. Things can get messy if you've got an older resale condo and it suddenly goes up for an Enbloc sale in the first 3 years of your ownership. You still have to pay that seller's stamp duty even if you didn't plan on selling. And let's face it, moving is a headache, especially when it's not on your terms. Downsizing. Lastly, let's tackle downsizing. Imagine you go all in and buy a small private property only to realize you need more space as your life changes. Marriages, kids, the whole deal. So downsizing from private property to a HDB flat isn't as easy as it sounds. If you sell your private place, you need to wait 30 months before trying to get a HDB flat. That's a long time to wait and it might not fit your plans. So there you have it, a rundown of private properties versus HDB flats for your first home. Like what you're watching so far? How about giving us some likes and love so we can continue this journey of empowering more others like you with families like yours to learn about property and bridge the knowledge gap. It's a lot to think about, I know, but that's what we are here for at Singapore Real Estate Insider. If you want advice that's tailor-made for you, don't hesitate to get in touch. And hey, drop your questions and thoughts in the comments below. I would like to get connected with you. And we are all ears. In the meantime, invest wisely and stay tuned for the next video.